And so, it begins. Dark were the skies and chill was the wind as the land was covered in a veil of malice. Across the hill did ride a dread army of the night, cloaked in mist and fog, prepared to rain down death and destruction upon the land. And the people did crowd for a savior, a noble soul to save them from their impending demise. Just as it seemed all was lost, in strode a mighty hero, clad in shimmering metal from head to toe. Wielding a terrible broadsword, he did cleave his foes in two, smashing their ranks asunder with righteous fury. And when the day was done and the enemy strewn across the fields in pieces, the people did turn to the warrior and say, "We shall name this day in your honor. Speak unto us your wisdom." The warrior said one word that day: epic.
One man, one Murloc, one giant angry badger. This is Blue Please. It begins now. Yes, indeed, folks. Welcome to Blue Please on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit. The date today is the 29th of May, 2009. It is 7 p.m. in Britain. It's actually not. It's 7:30 in Britain. And it's 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. In other times, it is other places, but the only thing you need to know is that this is the show. What do we got coming up for you in the show today? Well, I can tell you for a fact that the much-delayed interview with T. Carl Quo from PopCap Games is coming up a little bit later. It's a mammoth one, folks. It's 28 minutes of great content. He talks about the add-on policy, he talks about PopCap Games, development of the Peggle mod, as well as the Bejeweled mod, and we talk a little bit about casual versus hardcore. Well, more a case of WoW's casual nature and how a developer in an actual casual game company plays WoW, and you might be a little bit surprised. So yeah, that's going to be cool, and that's coming up later on in the show. Also, we'll be having a look at Ulduar, and since it's been out for a little while now, and a lot of us have had a lot of progress through it, we're going to take stock and see how it compares to previous instances. Is this really the work of genius that it was claimed to be? We shall see. Also, of course, you'll get your chance to add to this show, to bring a little bit of love and content to this particular radio station. It's the illusion of choice! Email themurloc@gmail.com. That is themurloc@gmail.com if you wish to participate. Submit a topic, it might get picked for the end of the show. Who knows? Who knows? Now, a couple of things I need to say before we go on to the mail time and the much maligned drop-in, which will return despite your hideous protest. We've actually got a poll on the forum right now that says, do you or do you not hate the mail time drop-in? And about 65% of people seem not to hate it. And then about 35% do. Or was it 20%? And then about 11% were indifferent. I don't know. Whatever the case, you're getting it. You don't have a choice. So, first things first. I will be on the Rawcast show tomorrow, and I expect every single one of you to turn up and bring your friends and bring everyone you possibly can. Why? Well, it's a matter of pride more than anything. We wish to break their live listenership record, which was 500 for the one and only Terpster. I feel we can probably do better than that, considering our listenership record for live would be something along the lines of... what was it? Yes, now I remember.
It's over 9,000!
Oh yeah. The amount of servers we had to burn for that one. Sacrificing goats and all manner of things. It was pretty horrendous. Now, if you wish to participate in this show, and I would certainly recommend that you do, it is going to be on tomorrow at 2200, which is 10 o'clock in the evening, British Standard Time, which I believe is 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. And the link to this particular show, if I remember correctly, it's totally disappeared, hasn't it? Ah, yes. ustream.tv/channel/the-rawcast-show. There's a link on our front page if you want to check that out. They do theirs via Ustream. I don't know why, but they do. So you can pop in there and you can invade the chat room and do all manner of things. So yes, I expect you all to be there. Bring friends. Bring family. Bring people that don't even want to be there anyway. Force them. Blackmail. Bribery. All manner of things. Whatever it takes. It'll be fun. I can guarantee it. You will see a very different side of me on that show. At least I think so. I've never really been on other people's shows before. I always deny their requests. I wonder why. Mainly because I'm an antisocial bigot. What can I say? Right. There's one other thing I need to say before we go on to the mailbag, and that is congratulations to our one and only Cadwallian, the master of the webs, for he is going to be a dad in approximately 9 months' time. So congratulations to you. Well done. You have successfully impregnated a female, which is more than the vast majority of WoW players can say. Well done, and I'm going to reward you by simulating what your first year will be like. Are you regretting it yet? Oh dear, I'm an evil person. You're never going to let me get away with that one. Right, from one terrible drop-in to another. Where is my terrible drop-in? Oh, yes, of course, it's over there. It's right next to the Juggernaut drop-in, which I never use. I stole Nocturnal Hordax drop-ins, if you hadn't already realised. It's time for this!
That sounds like it's mail time! Here's the mail.
It never fails.
It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes,
I want to wail.
Yes, it's time for the mailbag. And I must say, I need to stop paying so much attention to my mail. There's a reason for that, because sometimes people get it wrong. Now, the first email comes from... I actually had several emails, but I'm going to pick this one out specifically. It's from Knight of Osiris, and he says this. Greetings, TB. This past Monday, I went to deadlybossmods.com in order to update the add-on, and I was surprised to find what looked like a gold seller banner across the top of their page, and he attaches a screenshot. Checking the forums, there was a couple of threads regarding the appearance of this ad. Their site admin had posted this reply on the 17th of May, saying, well, we have very pragmatic reasons for this new ad. They generate more revenue. We previously had these Buy Fancy Gold Guide and Get Rich with the AH banners. The new banner is up since Friday. It will stay up for at least 1 month to see how it performs in comparison to other banners. And he's got a little star here that says, the banner you mentioned is $180 a month. We are certainly not becoming rich with that. Basically amounts to gold sellers pay us more money, so that's okay. Have the authors of one of the core rating add-ons sold out to gold sellers? Well, that's an interesting question. It is entirely possible that when this screenshot was taken that they had, because their website looks very different right now. If you go to deadlybossmods.com, what you will notice are Google ads, similar to the ones that we had. We've got a gold ad there. Well, they're both guides. Bear in mind, Blizzard doesn't like these either. We took a massive revenue hit because we had to blacklist those too. Now, they're not technically illegal, and they certainly don't break any rules, but Blizzard doesn't like them. And we're an official fan site. We get certain benefits from that. So, we got to play ball. So, of course, we took that down and we took a massive revenue hit, which is not really helping our expansion plans. But you know what? It's about having a little bit of integrity as opposed to having a lot of money. To be honest, integrity can't be bought. Now, I did get a lot of emails saying, oh, well, they've sold out to gold sellers. And I was all ready to go on a rant about it. But to be honest, it looks to me like they've either removed the ad or it may have been already part of a Google ad. You can't tell because this this tower ad that they've got to the right-hand side of the page was not there in the screenshot. Which indicates to me, to be honest, that they were probably using Google Ads. Now, I can't say that I'm a particularly big fan of using unfiltered Google Ads because they're very easy to filter. We filter ours. If you go on WCRadio.com right now, you should not see any gold ads whatsoever. And indeed, it's very rare when they pop up. It's difficult to stop them entirely, but we're pretty good at it. Our blacklist is very, very good. And what happens is, if you see a gold ad on our page in any form, there's a little report an ad link directly under the ad banners. Report it, we blacklist it. It's gone. And once we've got this list to be complete as we possibly can, we're going to release this blacklist so that other fan sites can use it too. Because we do not believe in advertising gold. It's as simple as that. In fact, we're violently against it. At least the vast majority of us are. Station policy that we hate gold ads. We hate gold farmers. Indeed, who wouldn't? The fact of the matter is these guys are crooks. They're criminals. They are responsible for hacking fan sites and innocent players. And it happens, and it's still happening. I believe Warcraft Movies recently got some code injected by gold sellers, keyloggers, with a deliberate attempt to hijack as many accounts as possible. And this happened to our site as well. It doesn't happen anymore, because thankfully we now have a site that's basically impregnable to that kind of thing. At least the incompetent fools over in China. But it sucks. I can't see a single reason that you would support that. It's basically this way. If you buy gold, you're supporting people that hack your friends' accounts. And to be honest, I think that sucks. Because you're not much of a friend. I mean, gold's not hard to get these days. Now again, not a fan of people having unfiltered Google ads, but they're certainly a lot better than actually selling ad space. So, I can't honestly make a call as to whether or not this was actually a Google ad or not. It's the same kind of shape, from what I can tell, same kind of size as a Google ad. It doesn't have the Google ad thing underneath it, but since I didn't have the opportunity to click it, well, there's not a lot I can really do. So I can't go and claim that, hey, they're sold out to gold farmers, because by the looks of it, that's not the case. They've just put some Google ads up. There's nothing wrong with having Google ads up. There's nothing wrong with making a bit of revenue. But what I will say to fan sites, for God's sake, if a gold-selling site, and they've come to us frequently, I mean, for God's sake, I've had offers to buy the site in mid to high figure numbers. 5 figures at least. Some guy offered me 6 figures. I don't believe that was the case. The chances are I was just lying. But, I've had people come and offer to buy the site out, and all that stuff, and we know what happened earlier on with the buyouts of various different sites early on in WoW's life. We know that Thoughtbot and Alakazam, at first instance, got bought by a company that was owned by gold farmers. Now, as far as I'm aware, Alakazam, and indeed everything around Zam Media, is no longer owned by gold farmers. That's not the case. They split off. But back in the day, they were. And that was lousy. And to be honest, I don't want to see that continue to happen. So please, please, please be careful what you advertise. Yes, I realise that revenue is tight right now. It's a recession. It sucks. But that doesn't mean you have to sell out your principles for a little bit extra moolah. It's not great. Also, I just had a very interesting tweet that says, do you always insult your listenership? Answer, yes. As much as humanly possible. It's the privilege of being on air. They love it. Seriously, they take the abuse. They come back every week. Indeed, my show keeps getting more and more popular. I can't really figure out why that is. Oh well, never mind. Now, I've got one more email before I go to the break, and then we'll be coming back with the interview. Oh yes, and this one comes from Joseph Frisk. He says this: hey there, long-time listener, long-time player, whatever. I've heard a lot of your shows, and you're still the best in my ears. What? Wow, the best in your ears. As opposed to what? Little beetles crawling around in there. Now, he says, I heard you talking about leveling new characters and what a drag it can be. I've got 180 Druid, 180 Warrior, 180 Mage, and a ton of 50 plus characters at the moment. I'm leveling a Paladin, so I want to face roll all of the classes. Anyway, what I meant to say is this. I leveled them all on my own from level 1. No bonuses with XP or recruit a friend or anything like that, and yeah, it's a total drag doing the same quests over and over and over again. But I think it's necessary to do that if you want to know how to play the class. And the DK system, when they start at 55, is just terrible. I've played with a lot of DKs that simply do not know their class because they start off at level 55, and it sucks. But I would wish that Blizzard would put in some kind of system where the more experienced players don't need to do all the content once again, if you know what I mean. Best regards, Overpower level 80, Feral Druid. Oh, I'm not going to read all those. That's crazy. Oh, and can you give a shout out to my girlfriend Scroller, who just dinged 80 on her Disc Priest? Shout out to her given. Right. It's understandable that people don't want to level up these new classes, and indeed I've mentioned previously that there are certain games like Guild Wars that seem to do it better. Once you level up one, you get to roll up all these others. But the problem is that it doesn't matter how experienced a player you are. Yeah? Death Knights, if anything, are actually one of the easier classes to learn to play. Think about it. Think about what would happen if you had to learn, say... Let's say talk a priest, yeah? If you had 25 levels in which to learn all of the priest skills, bear this in mind. Bear the way that the way the DK was staggered, And bear in mind how all the other classes are staggered. You learn your class gradually while going through the content. DKs are supposed to be for advanced players because it drops quite a lot on you all at once. But even then, it's not as complicated as if you compressed all of the skills that you learned, say, as a priest or whatever, into those 25 levels. So if you started a priest at level 55, look at all of the skills you would be stuck with and having to learn and working out what everything is. You see how terrible Death Knight players are? Well, you know what? A lot of those people obviously have an 80. Or at least a 55 plus. I would wager that the vast majority of DKs have an 80. Which means they are, by definition, one would think, experienced players. You can't quantify that. It's like, what do you count as an experienced player? Someone who's got 3 classes to 80? Well, you know what? I'm an experienced player, and I haven't got 3 classes to 80 because I can't be bothered. You know, it seems like I'm the very demographic that would benefit from that, yet I couldn't, because, say, I wouldn't have 3 level 80s or whatever. And then again, it doesn't matter how experienced you are, because still, learning the class in that kind of compressed time frame, that's hard. That is tricky stuff. Really. So to be honest, I don't think it's ever really going to happen. I think what they're going to just keep doing is accelerating the speed at which you can level. I think Recruit a Friend is a good idea. I think Recruit a Friend should perhaps be expanded into such a way that perhaps you can buy a triple XP bonus. That's all you're effectively doing anyway. Buy the triple XP bonus for yourself and level through. I don't really want to keep having my friends buy new accounts or whatever and having to transfer through just to use the Recruit a Friend system. And I understand the Recruit a Friend system is dual purpose. Obviously, Blizzard was thinking that, hey, existing players will use this in order to power level characters, and this is going to be a legitimate power leveling service as a way of, say, derailing the existing power leveling services, and that's good. It would be nice to see it expanded into such a way that they just accepted that and said, yes, this is one of the reasons it's here, so here's a version where you don't have to buy a new account. Maybe you have to pay just for a month of a triple XP potion or whatever. It won't be the first game to do it. And then you could level nice and quickly. And I think that's the better way to do it. My name is Total Biscuit, and you're listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. I'll be back after this with the PopCap interview. Enjoy.